From zero to success. From nothing to everything. At first, it sounds impossible. How could someone who starts with empty pockets, no connections, and no safety net ever rise to build a life of success? But the truth is, many of the most powerful success stories don't begin with wealth or privilege. They begin with struggle. They begin with pain. They begin with a decision to never accept defeat. This is the untold story of starting with nothing and proving that even from zero, greatness can be built. Imagine standing at rock bottom. No money, no opportunities, no one to call for help. Every day feels like survival. The rent is overdue, the fridge is almost empty, and hope feels like it's slipping away. Most people look at that situation and see the end. But for a rare few, that moment becomes the beginning. Because when you have nothing, you also have nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you are finally free to take risks, to fight harder, to chase dreams with a hunger that comfort never creates. It starts with a choice, a decision that says, "This is not where my story ends." That decision doesn't make the road easier, but it changes everything. Because once you decide that failure is not your final chapter, you start to move differently. You stop making excuses, you stop waiting for the right time, you stop blaming circumstances, and you begin to take responsibility. That shift in mindset is the first step from zero to success. But mindset alone is not enough. Starting from nothing means you must build piece by piece. Maybe it's working 2 jobs while studying at night. Maybe it's selling things door to door. Maybe it's launching a tiny side hustle that barely makes any money in the beginning. At first, it feels like nothing is working. The hours are long, the sacrifice is heavy, and the results almost invisible. Friends may not understand. Family might doubt you. People might laugh. But every small step forward is a brick laid on the path to success. And success is built one brick at a time. The nights are the hardest. When everyone else is sleeping, you're still grinding, still hustling, still fighting. You question yourself. You wonder if the effort is worth it. You wonder if you should quit. But here's the truth. Success is never built in comfort. Success is forged in the fire of doubt, in the moments when giving up feels easier. It's in those dark hours that champions are created. Because every time you choose to push forward instead of quitting, you are rewriting your story. And then, one day, something small shifts. You make your first sale. You get your first client. You receive your first yes after 1,000 no's. It's not life-changing at first, but it's proof. Proof that progress is possible. Proof that your effort is working. Proof that you are capable of building something from nothing. That small win fuels belief. And belief is the fire that keeps you moving when everything else tells you to stop. The journey from zero is never a straight line. There are setbacks. There are failures. There are moments when everything you've built seems to collapse. You might lose money. You might lose people. You might even lose hope for a while. But the difference between those who stay at zero and those who rise to success is simple. Persistence. The ones who rise keep moving forward no matter how many times they fall. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every mistake is a lesson. Every fall is preparation for the climb. And slowly, the story changes. What was once survival becomes stability. What was once instability becomes opportunity. The person who had nothing now begins to build something. The skills sharpen. The confidence grows. The small wins stack into bigger wins. The doors that were once closed begin to open. People who once doubted you now ask for your advice. And before you know it, the person who started with zero is no longer the same. They are stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through years of effort that no one sees, years of grinding when nobody is watching, years of sacrifice when nobody is clapping. And then, suddenly, everyone calls it luck. Suddenly, everyone says, "You were born for this." But they didn't see the nights you cried, the mornings you almost gave up, the sacrifices you made. They didn't see the days you walked with empty pockets but carried a heart full of determination. They didn't see that you started with nothing. But you know what it took. You know the fire it demanded. You know the strength it required to build from zero. And here's the most powerful part. Starting with nothing is not a disadvantage. It's a gift, because when you start with nothing, you learn resilience. You learn creativity. You learn persistence. You learn how to fight for every inch. And those lessons become the foundation for lasting success. People who are handed everything rarely learn those lessons. But those who build from nothing carry them forever. So if you feel like you're at zero today, if you're broke, if you're struggling, if you feel like you have nothing to offer, remember this. Zero is not the end. Zero is the starting line. Every empire, every fortune, every legend had a beginning. And many of those beginnings looked just like yours. Empty pockets, endless doubts, and nothing but a dream. The difference was they refused to quit. They refused to let their circumstances define their future. They refused to accept defeat. Your story doesn't have to end where you are right now. You can rise. You can fight. You can build something that the world will remember. From zero, you can create everything. From nothing, you can create success. All it takes is belief, discipline, and persistence. So let this be your reminder. Your struggle today is not your ending. It is your beginning. Your pain today is not punishment. It is preparation. Your lack today is not your limit. It is your launchpad. From zero, you can rise. From zero, you can succeed. From zero, you can build a future that once felt impossible. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that starting with nothing was the greatest gift life ever gave you, because it forced you to discover just how powerful you really are. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember this truth. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. Success is for the ones who refuse to quit. Even if you start with nothing, you can end with everything.